Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to share a truth so simple yet so profound. You attract what you think and speak. Have you ever noticed that when your mind is filled with worry, fear, or doubt, life seems heavier, more challenging? And when your mind is calm, hopeful, and positive, opportunities appear as if the universe is conspiring to help you? That's not coincidence. That's the power of your thoughts. Every thought you entertain is like a seed. If you nurture seeds of fear, anger, or negativity, that is exactly what will grow in your life. But if you plant seeds of love, gratitude, and positivity, your life blooms with abundance. Your mind is a magnet and it draws experiences that match the energy you project. And it's not just thoughts. Your words carry tremendous power. Words are vibrations that travel into the world and create reality. When you speak with kindness, encouragement, and faith, you uplift yourself and others. When you complain, criticize, or doubt aloud, you push away the very blessings you seek. The beautiful part is that you have the power to choose. You can consciously shift your thoughts and words to align with the life you desire. Start by noticing the chatter in your mind. Are your thoughts serving you or sabotaging you? Replace negative self-talk with affirmations, hope, and gratitude. Speak words that inspire not just to others, but to yourself. Remember, the world is like a mirror. Smile at it and it smiles back. Speak positively and positive experiences are drawn to you. Every challenge becomes easier when your thoughts and words are aligned with faith, clarity, and optimism. So let today be the day you plant the seeds of positive thinking and empowering speech. Feed your mind with light, speak words that elevate, and watch how life mirrors the beauty you create. Because ultimately, you attract what you think and speak. Every thought you have is like a tiny seed planted in the garden of your mind. At first, it seems insignificant, just a fleeting idea, a momentary spark. But if you pay attention to it, if you nurture it with energy, focus, and emotion, it begins to grow. Like a seed in the soil, it develops roots, it stretches upward, and eventually it manifests in your life as experiences, emotions, and actions. This is why the quality of your thoughts matters more than you might realize. Think for a moment about how seeds behave in nature. A seed thrown carelessly onto a rock will never grow. It needs fertile ground, sunlight, water, and care. Similarly, a thought that is not cultivated, that is left unchecked, may not influence your life much. But repeated thoughts, especially those you feed with emotion, become powerful forces that shape your reality. If your mind constantly entertains fear, doubt, or anger, these thoughts take root and grow into obstacles, stress, and negativity. Conversely, if your mind dwells on love, gratitude, creativity, and optimism, these seeds blossom into opportunities, happiness, and fulfillment. The mind is a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds you plant in it every day. Every worry, every hope, every intention is a seed sent out into the world. And just like a gardener chooses what to plant, you have the choice to decide which thought to nurture. When you start your day with negativity, thinking about everything that could go wrong, you are watering the seeds of anxiety, fear, and limitation. But when you consciously focus on positive ideas, thinking about what you can achieve, what you are grateful for, and how you can contribute, you water seeds of confidence, resilience, and abundance. What is remarkable is that the seeds planted in your mind do not grow in isolation. They influence your behavior, words, and your actions, which in turn influence the world around you. A thought of kindness leads to acts of generosity. A thought of courage leads to taking steps you once thought impossible. A thought of creativity leads to innovation and problem solving. In essence, the quality of thoughts creates the blueprint for your life. One of the most powerful aspects of this principle is that it works even when you are not fully aware of it. Your subconscious mind absorbs repeated thoughts you entertain, and over time, these thoughts begin to dictate your choices, habits, and reactions. A mind filled with doubt subconsciously avoids opportunities, fails to recognize possibilities, and manifests exactly the limitations you feared. On the other hand, a mind focused on positivity, growth, and potential begins to see opportunities, attract like-minded people, and create a life aligned with its internal vision. The challenge is that most people do not treat their minds as they would a garden. They allow negative thoughts to dominate without question and then wonder why their lives feel chaotic, unfulfilled, or stagnant. But when you become conscious of your thoughts and begin to choose carefully what to plant, you unlock the power to transform your life. You are not a passive observer. You are the gardener of your mind. By cultivating seeds of wisdom, positivity, and hope, you create a garden that not only nourishes you, but also spreads beauty into the lives of those around you. So remember, every thought is a seed. What you think today shapes what you will live tomorrow. Feed your mind with positivity, nurture your dreams with belief, and watch as the garden of your life blossoms into something extraordinary. Negativity is a silent force that slowly takes over your mind and shapes your life in ways you might not even notice. Every time you dwell on fear, anger, resentment, or doubt, you are giving energy to thoughts that grow stronger with time. These negative thoughts are like weeds in the garden of your mind. If left unchecked, they spread rapidly, choking out the seeds of positivity and hope. The more attention you give to them, the more they dominate your mental landscape, influencing your decisions, your actions, and ultimately the experiences you attract. It's fascinating how subtle negativity can be. Sometimes it shows up as a small worry about the future, a passing thought of self-doubt, or a fleeting irritation with someone around you. You may think that these minor thoughts don't matter, but even small drops of water repeated over time carve deep grooves in stone. Similarly, minor negative thoughts, if repeated or entertained, create habits of pessimism, fear, and limitation. Life begins to feel heavier, opportunities seem distant, and challenges appear insurmountable. Not necessarily because circumstances have worsened, but because your mind is focused on obstacles rather than possibilities. The truth is that negativity has a magnetic quality. Just as darkness attracts more darkness, negative thoughts attract more negative experiences. When you focus on what could go wrong, you subconsciously prepare yourself for failure. You see challenges instead of solutions, threats instead of opportunities, and obstacles instead of paths forward. Your mind becomes a lens tinted with doubt and fear, and the world outside mirrors that lens. People around you may react differently, opportunities may seem scarce, and even your own health and energy can be affected. One of the most important realizations is that negativity is contagious. Not just within yourself, but in your relationships as well. When you constantly complain, criticize, or doubt, those around you absorb some of that energy. Conversations become heavy, collaboration becomes strained, and relationships begin to suffer. By contrast, positivity works the same way. Hope, encouragement, and gratitude ripple outward and create an environment where growth, creativity, and joy flourish. The energy you carry in your mind doesn't just affect you, it touches everyone around you, shaping the world in subtle but powerful ways. Breaking free from negativity requires conscious effort. Awareness is the first step, noticing when your mind drifts into fear, self-doubt, or criticism. Once you recognize these patterns, you can choose to interrupt them. Replace a negative thought with a constructive one. Shift the focus from what could go wrong to what can be learned, achieved, or appreciated. Practice gratitude even in small ways, because gratitude acts like sunlight on weeds, inhibiting their growth and nourishing seeds of positivity. Remember, life is not about avoiding challenges or pretending that negativity does not exist. It is about understanding that the energy you give to thoughts determines what grows in your life. By feeding negative thoughts, you cultivate fear, frustration, and limitation. By focusing on positive, solution-oriented, and grateful thinking, you invite courage, resilience, and opportunity. The choice is always yours, and the consequences are reflected in every area of your life. Negativity breeds negativity, but positivity breeds possibilities. The moment you become conscious of your thoughts, stop entertaining fear and doubt, and focus instead on hope and constructive action, you break the cycle. You replace weeds with flowers, darkness with light, and limitation with potential. Your mind becomes a fertile garden once again, ready to attract everything you hope for and more. Positivity is one of the most powerful forces in life, and yet many people underestimate its influence. Just as negativity spreads and grows when nurtured, positivity too has the remarkable ability to expand, attract, and transform your life. When you consistently cultivate positive thoughts, emotions, and intentions, your mind begins to radiate a vibration that draws similar energy from the world around you. Life starts to mirror the optimism, gratitude, and hope you carry within, and opportunities appear that might have seemed impossible before. Imagine positivity as sunlight. A single ray may seem small, but it warms everything it touches and encourages growth. When your mind is filled with hope, gratitude, and constructive thinking, you naturally begin to see possibilities instead of problems. Small setbacks become lessons, failures become opportunities for growth, and challenges become stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Positivity allows you to approach life with clarity, courage, and resilience. The more you focus on it, the stronger its influence becomes, not only in shaping your experiences, but also in influencing the people and circumstances around you. One of the most beautiful aspects of positivity is that it is contagious. When you speak with encouragement, act with kindness, and maintain hope even in difficult situations, others will respond in kind. A simple smile, a word of appreciation, or a supportive gesture can change someone's entire day. And often in turn, they reflect that energy back to you. In this way, positivity not only transforms your own life, but creates a ripple effect that touches everyone in your environment. It's a powerful reminder that your internal state does not remain isolated. It has the ability to influence the external world. Positivity also changes the way you perceive obstacles. Life is full of challenges, and no one is exempt from struggles. But when your mind is attuned to positive thinking, problems are no longer insurmountable. Instead, they are puzzles to solve, lessons to learn, or opportunities to innovate. Your focus shifts from fear and limitation to possibility and action. You start to notice solutions where others see only barriers. You begin to recognize potential where others see failure. Positivity becomes a lens through which life is experienced in a richer, more expansive way. Another key element of positivity is gratitude. Gratitude amplifies the energy of positivity, reminding you of what is already present in your life and creating a mindset that attracts even more. When you appreciate what you have, small or large, your mind begins to focus on abundance rather than scarcity. This shift in focus not only changes your internal state, but also aligns you with opportunities and people who reflect that abundance. It's a simple practice, yet its effects are profound. A grateful heart attracts joy, success, and meaningful connections. The science behind this is equally fascinating. Thoughts and emotions are vibrations, and the energy you emit interacts with the universe in subtle but powerful ways. When you think and act positively, you unconsciously draw experiences, relationships, and circumstances that resonate with that same energy. Positivity attracts positivity because the world responds to the frequency you project. In conclusion, embracing positivity is not about ignoring challenges or pretending life is perfect. It's about choosing to focus your energy on constructive, empowering thoughts and actions that uplift yourself and those around you. By consistently nurturing optimism, hope, and gratitude, you invite a life filled with growth, opportunities, and joy. Positivity attracts positivity, and the moment you embrace it fully, you open the door to a world that reflects the best version of yourself. Words are far more than mere sounds or symbols we use to communicate. They are powerful forces that shape reality, influence emotions, and create the life we experience. Every word you speak carries energy, and that energy travels out into the world, affecting not just those who hear it, but also yourself. Think about the last time someone spoke kind, encouraging words to you. You likely felt uplifted, inspired, or motivated. Conversely, when words of criticism, doubt, or negativity are directive, they can linger in your mind, influencing your confidence, mood, and actions. Words are not neutral. They are seeds that grow either nourishing or harming the garden of your life. The power of words starts within. What you say to yourself in your mind matters just as much as what you say aloud. Negative self-talk, doubts, and harsh judgments slowly chip away at your self-esteem, limiting your potential and dictating your behavior. On the other hand, positive words, affirmations, and kind inner dialogue create resilience, confidence, and clarity. When you tell yourself that you are capable, that challenges are opportunities, and that you can learn and grow, your brain begins to process experiences through this lens. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions start to align with the words you choose, demonstrating the direct connection between language and reality. But words do not just influence your internal world, they shape your external world as well. Every conversation, every sentence spoken to others carries energy. Words can inspire, motivate, and heal. or they can wound, demoralize, and create conflict. Consider a leader who encourages their team with words of appreciation and belief in their abilities. That team becomes motivated, confident, and creative. Now imagine the opposite. A leader who constantly criticizes, doubts, or belittles their team. The energy shifts, morale drops, and performance suffers. Words are not simply a tool of communication. They are instruments of influence and creation. It's also important to recognize that spoken words have a ripple effect. When you speak positively, your words create a chain reaction. One kind word can spark a wave of encouragement, inspiring others to act with compassion and optimism. Conversely, words rooted in negativity can spread fear, resentment, or doubt, influencing not only the immediate listener, but also those they interact with. This ripple effect demonstrates the interconnectedness of our lives. The energy we project through language comes back to us, shaping the circumstances and relationships we experience. Another profound aspect of words is their ability to manifest intentions. Many spiritual and psychological teachings emphasize the connection between speech and creation. What you declare, affirm, or visualize verbally often sets in motion the mental and emotional processes necessary for it to become reality. Words are like commands to your mind. They focus energy, intention, and belief, turning abstract thoughts into tangible outcomes. When you speak with clarity, faith, and positivity, you align your internal energy with the external world, attracting opportunities, support, and solutions that resonate with your spoken vision. The key then is to use word consciously. Before speaking, ask yourself, do these words elevate, inspire, or create? Do they reflect the life I want to attract? By choosing words with care, both in thought and speech, you plant seeds of positivity, confidence, and growth. You become an architect of your experiences, shaping your life through the simplest yet most powerful tool you possess. Your voice. The words we speak have the incredible ability not just to convey information, but to shape energy, influence others, and elevate the atmosphere around us. Speaking is more than a mechanical act. It is an expression of our inner world, a reflection of our thoughts and emotions. When we choose words consciously with kindness, encouragement, and purpose, we have the power to uplift ourselves and everyone we interact with. This is the essence of speaking to elevate, not merely speaking, but using language as a tool to inspire, heal, and transform. Every interaction we have is an opportunity. The way we communicate can either contribute to stress, tension, and negativity, or it can plant seeds of hope, motivation, and positivity. Imagine a simple compliment or word of appreciation. It costs nothing, yet its impact can be profound. A single phrase of encouragement can ignite confidence in someone who is doubting their abilities, motivate someone to persevere through challenges, or create a sense of connection that strengthens relationships. When we speak to elevate, we consciously choose words that add value rather than diminish the lives of others. Speaking to elevate begins with awareness. Many people speak without thinking, letting habitual patterns of complaining, criticizing, or doubting spill out. These patterns over time shape the environment and influence not only others but also ourselves. When negativity dominates our speech, it reinforces limiting beliefs and attracts more of the same energy. On the other hand, when we pause, reflect, and choose words that carry positivity and encouragement, we cultivate a mindset of possibility, hope, and inspiration. Elevating speech starts with the simple act of asking, will my words help, or will they harm? Or will they harm? There is also a profound connection between speaking and our inner growth. When we articulate gratitude, hope, and love, we reinforce these qualities within ourselves. Words are mirrors of the mind. By expressing encouragement and positivity, we cultivate the same emotions internally. Speaking to elevate is not only about impacting the world, it is also about shaping our own character. The more we practice conscious, uplifting speech, the more we internalize values such as compassion, patience, and understanding, which then guide our actions and decisions. Another remarkable aspect of elevating speech is its ripple effect. Words have energy as contagious. When you inspire someone with a few thoughtful phrases, they in turn carry that energy forward, influencing others in their sphere. Imagine how powerful it would be if each person chose their words to elevate rather than criticize, encourage rather than belittle, and inspire rather than discourage. Small conscious choices in language can transform communities, relationships, and even workplaces over time. Finally, speaking to elevate is an act of responsibility and empowerment. Every word we utter has consequences, and we are in control of those choices. By committing to speak consciously, we align our internal thoughts with external expression, creating harmony between intention and action. Our words become instruments of positive change, capable of motivating action, creating connection, and shaping the reality we wish to see. In a world often filled with doubt and negativity, choosing to speak to elevate is a conscious decision to contribute light, hope, and encouragement, both to ourselves and to everyone around us. When you embrace the habit of elevating speech, life itself becomes brighter. Conversations gain meaning, relationships deepen, and challenges feel lighter. Speaking to elevate is not just a skill, it is a practice of mindfulness, compassion, and creation that has the power to transform lives one word at a time. Most people go through life without paying much attention to the constant chatter of their own minds. Thoughts come and go like waves in the ocean, some helpful, others destructive. Yet we often let them dictate our emotions, choices, and actions without noticing. Becoming aware of this inner dialogue, what we can call mind chatter, is one of the most powerful steps toward transforming our lives. The thoughts we habitually entertain shape the way we perceive the world, the decisions we make, and the energy we radiate into our surroundings. If we do not notice what is happening inside, we are at the mercy of unconscious patterns that may lead to stress, fear, and limitation. Mind chatter is relentless. It manifests as worries about the future, regrets about the past, or constant judgment of ourselves and others. Sometimes it whispers doubts, other times it shouts fears. When we fail to observe it, we begin to believe it unquestioningly. A fleeting negative thought becomes a long-term belief. A small worry becomes anxiety. Over time, unchecked mental chatter can create a cloud of negativity that colors every experience. But the beautiful truth is that we have the ability to step back, to become observers of our own thoughts, and to choose which ones to nourish and which ones to nourish and which ones to release. Noticing your mind chatter is like shining a light into a dark room. Suddenly, what was hidden becomes visible. Awareness allows you to discern between thoughts that are constructive and those that are destructive. When you catch yourself thinking, I can't do this, or nothing ever works for me, you pause and ask, is this thought serving me or is it holding me back? By creating this space between thought and reaction, you gain control over your mental landscape. You no longer allow your mind to run on autopilot, blindly attracting fear, doubt, and negativity. Instead, you begin to cultivate thoughts that align with hope, clarity, and purpose. Observing mind chatter is not about eliminating thoughts entirely, that is impossible, but about understanding them and deciding how to respond. Every thought is an opportunity, either to reinforce a negative pattern or to consciously redirect energy towards something positive. When you notice that your mind is dwelling on what could go wrong, you can gently shift it toward possibilities, solutions, and gratitude. When you recognize self-criticism or harsh judgment, you can replace it with self-compassion and encouragement. This practice strengthens your awareness, sharpens your focus, and gradually rewires your thinking patterns. Another important aspect is that noticing mind chatter allows you to live more fully in the present. Often our mental noise pulls us into the past or drags us anxiously into the future. Awareness of this chatter brings you back to the present moment, where life is actually happening. The simple act of observing your thoughts without judgment creates a sense of calm and clarity. You begin to realize that you are not your thoughts. You are the observer, the awareness behind the thoughts. This perspective empowers you to make choices aligned with your highest self, rather than being driven by fear, doubt, or habit. In essence, noticing your mind chatter is the gateway to conscious living. It transforms your inner world, strengthens your mental clarity, and allows you to choose thoughts and actions that serve your growth. By paying attention to what occupies your mind, you take the first step toward mastering your life, creating positive energy, and attracting the experiences and people that resonate with your true intentions. Awareness is the first seed of transformation, and from that seed grows the life you truly desire. Negative self-talk is one of the most subtle yet powerful forces that can hold us back in life. Often we are not even aware of how harshly we speak to ourselves. Phrases like, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, or nothing ever works out for me slip into our minds effortlessly. Over time, these words create mental patterns that limit our potential, sap our confidence, and attract experiences that reinforce doubt and failure. The good news is that negative self talk is not permanent. It can be replaced, reshaped, and transformed into a force that empowers rather than diminishes. Replacing negative self talk begins with awareness. Just as a gardener notices weeds before removing them, we must first recognize the thoughts that are harmful. Pay attention to the inner dialogue that runs constantly in your mind. Are your thoughts supportive, or do they belittle and discourage you? When you become conscious of these patterns, you gain the power to interrupt them. Awareness is the first step in reclaiming control over your mind and your life. Once negative self-talk is recognized, it can be challenged. Often these thoughts are based on assumptions, fears, or past failures rather than reality. Ask yourself, is this thought true? Is it helping me grow? Go. Is it aligned with the life I want to create? By questioning the validity of thoughts, you begin to see them for what they really are, temporary mental habits, not truths. This shift in perspective opens the door to replacing harmful thoughts with positive, constructive ones. Positive, constructive. Replacement is the next crucial step. For every negative thought, consciously insert a positive affirmation or a constructive alternative. Instead of saying, I can't do this, say, I am learning and growing and I can take the next step. Instead of thinking, I always fail, say, every challenge is an opportunity to improve and succeed. These affirmations are not mere cliches. They are powerful tools that train the mind to focus on possibilities rather than limitations. The more you practice this, the more your brain rewires itself, creating new patterns that support confidence, resilience, and success. Negative self-talk also affects not only your mind, but your actions. When you constantly doubt yourself, you hesitate, procrastinate, and miss opportunities. By replacing these thoughts with empowering self-talk, you create momentum. Your energy shifts from fear and limitation to courage and action. The choices you make, the risks you take, and the relationships you build begin to reflect this new positive mindset. Your life gradually transforms as your internal dialogue changes, showing the profound connection between thought, speech, and reality. Another key aspect of replacing negative self-talk is patience and persistence. Old patterns do not disappear overnight. It requires consistent practice, daily awareness, and gentle correction. Each time you replace a harmful thought with an empowering one, you reinforce a new habit. Over time, these new mental habits become automatic, and you begin to naturally think, speak, and act from a place of strength, hope, and self-belief. Ultimately, replacing negative self-talk is a powerful act of self-love and conscious living. It allows you to reclaim your inner power, create a mindset of growth and resilience, and attract experiences that reflect your true potential. By consciously choosing to speak kindly and constructively to yourself, you plant seeds of confidence, courage, and abundance, seeds that will flourish into a life of fulfillment, positivity, and success. Have you ever noticed that the way you feel inside often reflects in the world around you? When you are joyful, kind, and optimistic, the people you interact with seem friendlier, situations feel easier, and opportunities appear more abundant. On the other hand, when you are anxious, angry, or pessimistic, it seems as if everything conspires against you. People appear distant, challenges feel heavier, and doors seem to close. This is not mere coincidence. The world mirrors the energy you project, reflecting back to you the essence of your inner state. Every thought, emotion, and action sends a signal into the world. Positive energy, expressed through gratitude, compassion, and hope, creates resonance with similar energies. Negative energy expressed through fear, doubt, or resentment attracts more of the same. In essence, your external environment is a reflection of your internal world. When you focus on fear, criticism, or negativity, your attention and energy are tuned to perceive and attract experiences that match those vibrations. Conversely, when your mind and heart are aligned with positivity, your perception sharpens to notice opportunities, solutions, and relationships that reinforce your growth and joy. The principle of mirroring is powerful because it emphasizes personal responsibility. We often blame external circumstances or other people for our struggles. But in reality, the way we perceive and interact with the world begins with us. By consciously cultivating positive thoughts, maintaining emotional balance, and speaking words of encouragement and hope, We influence not only our own experiences, but also the energy that surrounds us. The world becomes a mirror, reflecting back what we radiate. This means that lasting change starts from within, not outside of ourselves. Relationships provide a clear example of this phenomenon. When you approach interactions with patience, empathy, and kindness, you invite similar behavior from others. People respond to the energy you bring into a conversation. A calm, understanding demeanor encourages cooperation and harmony, while impatience, anger, or judgment creates tension and resistance. In essence, the way you treat others becomes the mirror that reflects how the world treats you. This is why developing awareness of your inner state is so critical. It shapes not only your perception, but also your impact on those around you. Another important aspect of this mirroring is that it works both consciously and subconsciously. Even when you are not intentionally projecting positive or negative energy, your mindset, tone, and expressions communicate signals to the world. Your body language, choices, and reactions are noticed and influence the responses you receive. By cultivating inner peace, optimism, and confidence, you unconsciously attract experiences, opportunities, and people that align with those qualities. This understanding empowers you to take charge of your life. If the world seems chaotic or discouraging, it is an invitation to reflect inward. What is your mental and emotional state? Are your thoughts focused on scarcity, fear, or resentment? Or are they aligned with hope, gratitude, and possibility? By adjusting your inner state, you change the reflection you see in the world, transforming challenges into opportunities and resistance into support. Ultimately, realizing that the world mirrors you is both humbling and liberating. It reminds us that we have control over how we experience life, that our inner thoughts and words have tangible effects, and that by cultivating positivity, we can create a reality that reflects our highest intentions. Life is a mirror, and the energy you radiate comes back to you. So choose thoughts, emotions, and words that inspire, uplift, and attract the life you desire. Life often feels complicated, stressful, or overwhelming. But one of the most profound truths is that ease arises naturally when your thoughts, words, and actions are in alignment. Alignment means that your inner beliefs, your spoken words, and the actions you take are all pointing in the same direction, supporting the life you want to create. When there is harmony between what you think, what you say, and what you do, life flows more smoothly. Opportunities appear more readily, and challenges feel less daunting. Misalignment, on the other hand, creates friction, tension, and unnecessary struggle. Understanding this principle can transform the way you live, work, and interact with others. Think about it this way. When your mind is full of doubt, your words express uncertainty, and your actions are hesitant, the world responds with confusion and obstacles. You feel stuck, frustrated, and disconnected from your goals. But when your mind is focused, your words reflect confidence, and your actions are purposeful, you operate with clarity and efficiency. You notice doors opening, solutions appearing, and support coming from unexpected places. Alignment creates a natural flow, a sense of ease that allows life to unfold without constant resistance or struggle. The power of alignment is also deeply connected to authenticity. When your thoughts and words are in harmony with your true values and intentions, you act with sincerity and integrity. People around you recognize this authenticity, and it fosters trust, cooperation, and meaningful connection. Conversely, when there is a disconnect between what you think, say, and do, it creates confusion, not only for others but for yourself. You may find that despite your efforts, outcomes feel strained or unfulfilling. True alignment removes this internal conflict, allowing your energy to be directed toward growth, contribution, and meaningful achievements. Another key aspect of alignment is its effect on mental and emotional well-being. Misalignment often produces stress, anxiety, and self-doubt. When you're saying one thing but believing another, or acting in a way that contradicts your values, your mind and heart are in conflict. This inner friction manifests as tension, frustration, and fatigue. Alignment, by contrast, brings clarity and peace. When your intentions, words, and actions are synchronized, you experience a sense of flow, confidence, and empowerment. Decisions become easier. Obstacles feel smaller, and life begins to feel more manageable and purposeful. Alignment also attracts the right opportunities and people into your life. The energy you radiate when your inner state, speech, and behavior are in harmony resonates with situations and individuals that match that vibration. For instance, a person who thinks positively, speaks with clarity, and acts with integrity will naturally attract collaborators, mentors, and resources that support their growth. Misalignment, on the other hand, repels the very opportunities and relationships that could advance your life. By consciously aligning your inner outer worlds, you create a magnet for positivity, abundance, and success. Ultimately, alignment is about conscious living. It requires self-awareness, reflection, and intentionality. It means noticing when your thoughts, words, or actions are out of sync and taking steps to restore balance. By practicing this consistently, you cultivate a life that flows naturally, where challenges are met with clarity, opportunities are seized with confidence, and energy is directed toward meaningful goals. Alignment creates ease because it allows life to reflect the truth of your intentions, thoughts, and actions, bringing harmony, flow, and effortless progress into every aspect of your existence. Life is a series of choices, and the quality of those choices determines the direction of your journey. Every thought you entertain, every word you speak, and every action you take is a choice. And these choices collectively shape the experiences you attract, the relationships you build, and the life you lead. Understanding that conscious choice is key means realizing that you are not a passive observer of life, but an active participant, capable of influencing your reality through awareness and intentionality. Conscious choice begins with awareness. Most people go through life reacting automatically, responding to circumstances, emotions, or external influences without pausing to consider the impact of their decisions. Thoughts of doubt, fear, or negativity arise, and they are allowed to take root, influencing words and actions in ways that may not serve you. But when you pause and observe your inner dialogue, you gain the power to choose. You can decide whether to nurture a thought of hope or a thought of worry, whether to speak words of encouragement or criticism, whether to take action toward growth or remain stuck in comfort. Awareness transforms reaction into choice. Choosing consciously also means taking responsibility for the energy you project. Every thought, every word, every action sends a signal into the world and influences your experiences. By choosing to focus on positivity, gratitude, and solutions, you create an environment that aligns with growth, opportunity, and fulfillment. Conversely, ignoring the power of your choices allows external circumstances, negative influences, or habitual patterns to dictate your life. Conscious choice is the bridge between intention and reality. It is the tool through which you turn dreams and goals into tangible results. The practice of conscious choice also empowers you to overcome challenges. Life will inevitably present obstacles, disappointments, and unexpected situations. While you cannot always control what happens, you can choose how to respond. A conscious response comes from a place of clarity and purpose rather than fear or habit. It allows you to act thoughtfully, maintaining focus on long-term goals instead of reacting impulsively to temporary setbacks. By consistently making choices aligned with your highest intentions, you navigate life with greater confidence, resilience, and effectiveness. Another key aspect of conscious choice is its cumulative power. Every small decision contributes to the trajectory of your life. Saying kind words instead of harsh ones, thinking positively instead of dwelling on fear, taking proactive steps instead of procrastinating. Each of these choices may seem minor in isolation, but over time, they create a ripple effect that transforms your reality. The life you desire is not built overnight. It is the result of countless conscious choices made consistently, shaping your character, habits, and opportunities. Ultimately, conscious choice is an expression of personal freedom and responsibility. It reminds us that we are architects of our own lives. While we cannot control every external factor, we can control the energy we cultivate, the words we speak, and the actions we take. By choosing consciously, we align our inner thoughts and intentions with our outward behavior, creating harmony, clarity, and empowerment. Conscious choice allows us to attract experiences that reflect our highest self and to create a life that is meaningful, fulfilling, and abundant. Remember, every moment presents an opportunity to choose consciously. By doing so, you plant seeds of positivity, growth, and success that will flourish into a life aligned with your true purpose. The power is in your hands. The direction is yours to determine. One of the most profound truths about life is that consistency in thought and speech shapes not just your experiences, but your very identity. The words you speak repeatedly and the thoughts you entertain day after day gradually form the blueprint of who you become. Our minds are like sculptors, and our words and thoughts are the tools with which we carve our character, behavior, and destiny. The quality of these mental and verbal patterns determines the energy you radiate, the opportunities you attract, and the habits you cultivate. Think about the small, seemingly insignificant things you say to yourself each day. Can't do this. I'm not good enough. Or nothing ever works for me may appear harmless at first, but repeated consistently, they embed themselves deep into your subconscious. Over time, these thoughts influence your actions, your decisions, and your perception of the world. Your mind begins to operate as if these statements are truths, limiting your potential and shaping a reality in which fear, doubt, and frustration dominate. In essence, you start to become the very negative narrative you unconsciously feed yourself. The power of consistent positive thought and speech is equally remarkable. When you consciously choose to focus on constructive ideas, affirm your strengths, and speak words of encouragement, both to yourself and to others, you gradually transform the patterns of your mind. Thoughts such as I am capable, I can learn from challenges, or I am growing every day act as seeds of growth, resilience, and confidence. Repeated consistently, they reshape your subconscious, influence your choices, and align your actions with your highest potential. You begin to see opportunities where you once saw obstacles, solutions where you once saw problems, and strength where you once saw weakness. Consistency is the key element here. One positive thought or one empowering word may inspire temporarily, but the transformation occurs when these habits are practiced daily. Your mind and speech, when aligned consistently with your goals, gradually reprogram your beliefs and actions. It is similar to practicing a skill. Repetition builds mastery. By consistently thinking and speaking positively, you are not just influencing your immediate experiences. You are shaping your long-term character, reputation, and trajectory in life. Ah, Another important dimension is the effect on your environment. The energy you project through consistent thought and speech attracts people, situations, and opportunities that mirror the energy. Positive, consistent communication draws collaboration, encouragement, and shared growth. Negative, inconsistent speech often results in conflict, misunderstandings, or missed opportunities. Life responds to the vibrational frequency you set through your habitual words and thoughts. Finally, this principle teaches a vital lesson in responsibility and empowerment. You are the architect of your inner world, and your outer reality is a reflection of that inner state. By consciously choosing the thoughts you nurture and the words you consistently speak, you can transform your life from one of limitation to one of possibility. Over time, you become the embodiment of your internal dialogue, the living reflection of the stories you tell yourself and others every day. Consistency in thought and speech is therefore not a minor practice. It is the cornerstone of self-transformation. When you realize the profound impact of your habitual mental and verbal patterns, you gain the power to consciously shape the person you become, the life you lead, and the energy you project into the world. What you think and speak repeatedly does not just influence your life, it becomes your life. Positive energy is not limited. It grows and multiplies when shared. When you think positively, act with optimism, or speak words of encouragement, the energy you generate does not remain confined within you. It spreads to those around you, creating a ripple effect that can transform relationships, communities, and even the course of your life. Just like a single candle can light hundreds of others without diminishing its own flame, the positivity you radiate has the power to inspire, uplift, and energize everyone you encounter. The beauty of sharing positive energy lies in its simplicity. It can be as small as a genuine smile, a kind word, or a simple act of appreciation. These actions may seem minor, but they have profound effects. When you offer encouragement to someone struggling, it not only strengthens them, but also reinforces your own mindset of support, hope, and confidence. When you speak with optimism, you shift the energy of the conversation, making challenges feel manageable and solutions more visible. The energy you put out into the world invariably comes back to you, often amplified, creating a cycle of positivity that benefits both you and others. One of the most powerful aspects of sharing positive energy is that it builds connection and trust. People are naturally drawn to those who uplift and inspire them. When you consciously radiate optimism and kindness, you attract relationships and opportunities that align with those vibrations. These connections further amplify the positive energy you've initiated. Conversely, negativity tends to isolate and repel, creating barriers and friction. By choosing to share positivity, you not only enhance your life, but also create environments where collaboration, growth, and harmony thrive. Sharing positivity also strengthens your own resilience. Life is filled with challenges, setbacks, and uncertainties, but when you focus on uplifting yourself and others, you create mental and emotional strength. Optimism becomes a habit, gratitude becomes a lens, and hope becomes a guiding force. By extending positive energy to those around you, you reinforce these qualities within yourself, creating a self-sustaining cycle of empowerment. Your mind and heart remain in alignment, even in difficult times, allowing you to face adversity with courage and clarity. The ripple effect of shared positivity extends beyond individuals to influence groups, communities, and even larger social circles. A workplace filled with encouragement and collaboration becomes more productive and harmonious. A community that practices kindness and gratitude fosters a culture of support and mutual growth. Each act of positivity, no matter how small, multiplies as it touches more people, creating an environment where potential, opportunity, and happiness are nurtured. It is important to recognize that sharing positive energy is a conscious choice. Life often presents situations that invite frustration, resentment, or complaint. But when you choose to respond with encouragement, optimism, or gratitude, you are deliberately influencing the energy around you. This choice is both powerful and transformative. It reminds us that we are not powerless in the face of challenges. Our attitude, our words, and our actions are tools that shape our environment and experiences. Ultimately, positive energy multiplies when shared because it resonates with the natural human desire for hope, encouragement, and connection. By consciously cultivating optimism, spreading kindness, and reinforcing uplifting thoughts, you create a cycle of growth, joy, and abundance that returns to you manifold. The more positivity you share, the more your life and the lives of those around you flourish, creating a world that mirrors the energy you choose to radiate.